Hello, 6th grade. In this next video, we're going to look at how to multiply decimals. When you're multiplying decimals, you do not need to line up the decimal points like you do for addition and subtraction. Instead, we're going to follow the following steps. First of all, we're going to multiply without worrying about the decimal point yet. That will come at the end. Next, you're going to count the total number of decimal places in the factors, and factors are just what you're multiplying together. And then finally, you're going to place the decimal point in the answer using the total number of decimal places in the factors. So we're going to walk through a few examples together so we can see how this works. In example 1, we're taking 6 times the decimal 0.95. Before we actually multiply this, let's estimate to see if we can get what the answer should be close to. 0.95 we know is close to the number 1. So if we wanted to estimate this product, we could estimate this to be 6 times 1. And so this answer is going to be close to 6. It won't be exactly 6, but when we look at our final answer, we can see if our answer is close to 6. So I'm going to set this up by, first of all, just ignoring my decimal point here. So I'm going to treat this problem just like it were 6 times 95. So I'll set up 95 times 6 in my grid. I'm still going to put the point there, but again, I'm just going to ignore it for the time being. And to multiply this, I would take 6 times 5, which is 30. So I'll place my 0 and then carry my 3. And then 9 times 6, which is 54. And then I'll add my 3, and so that's going to give me 57. So this would be 570, but now I need to account for my decimal point. So my decimal point in my original problem had 2 digits behind it. I had the 9 and the 5 here in this factor. In my 6, there are no digits behind the decimal point because 6 is a whole number. Okay, so there are 0 decimal places in that factor. If I add the number of decimal places in both factors, 0 plus 2, I get 2. That's how many places need to be to the right of my decimal point in my answer. So now if I go down to my answer, I need 2 numbers to the right of my decimal point. So 0 will be one number, and then 7 will be my second number. So my decimal point is going to go here between my 5 and my 7. So my answer is going to be 5.70. 5.70, like we said, should be close to our estimation. Our estimation was 6, and 5.7 is pretty close to 6, so that seems like a good answer. Okay, let's look at number 2. This time I'm going to do 6.15 times 0.5. So again, I want you to estimate and think, what would the answer be close to? 6.15 is close to 6. And 0.5 is close to 1, but 0.5 is also 1/2. Okay, so if you took half of 6, you would get an answer of 3. So we're going to estimate that our answer should be somewhat close to 3. Okay, so now I'll multiply to get the exact answer. So I'm going to do 6.15 times 0.5. And again, I don't need to line up the decimal points, and I'm just going to ignore the decimal points for the time being. So I'm going to treat this as 615 times 5. So I do 5 times 5 first, which is 25. So I'll place my 5 and carry my 2. 5 times 1 is 5, plus my 2 is 7, and then 5 times 6 is 30. So I get 3075 here in my answer. Now I count my decimal places. I have 1 decimal place after the decimal point in 0.5. I have 2 decimal places after the decimal point in 6.15. So altogether, there should be 3 decimal places to the right of the decimal point in my answer. So I'm going to count those spaces now. 5 would be 1 place, 7 would be 2, and 0 would be 3. So my decimal point is going to go here between my 3 and my 0. So my answer is going to be 3.075. That is what 6.15 times 0.5 is equal to. And again, that's very close to my estimation of 3. Okay, looking at number 3. 13.04 times 2.6. Again, let's estimate that. 13.04 is close to 13, and 2.6 is close to 3, so we should get an answer that's somewhat close to 39. So now let's go ahead and multiply 13.04 times 2.6. So this time I'm going to have to do 2 rows for my multiplication. So for my first row, I'm multiplying 6 times 4, which is 24. Carry my 2. 6 times 0 is 0, plus my 2 is 2. 6 times 3 is 18. Carry a 1, and then 6 times 1 is 6, plus the 1 is 7. So I get 7, 8, 2, 4 in my first row. In my second row, I need to add a 0 here, and now I'll go ahead and start multiplying by my 2. 2 times 4 is 8, 2 times 0 is 0, 2 times 3 is 6, and 2 times 1 is 2. So this is just like whole number multiplication right now. Now I'll add these two numbers together. 4 plus 0 is 4, 8 plus 2 is 10, 1 plus 8 plus 0 is 9, 7 plus 6 is 13, and then 1 plus 2 is 3. So I have a 33904 in my answer. Now let's count the decimal places. I have 1 decimal place in 2.6, and then I have 2 in 13.04. So altogether there should be 3 decimal places to the right of my decimal point in this answer. So 4 is 1, 0 is 2, and 9 is 3. So my decimal point will go here between 3 and 9, and I have an answer of 33.904. Again, check your answer to see if it's close to your estimation. We have an answer of 33.904. That's close to 39. If we had put the decimal point in the wrong place, we might have gotten an answer of 3.3 or 339.04, and neither of those are close to 39, but the 33 is pretty close in terms of where the decimal point goes. So again, always estimate and check to see that your answer is close to what you estimated. Okay, number 4 here, we have 11.9 times 1.7. So again, let's estimate to see what this answer should be close to. 11.9 is close to 12. 1.7 is close to 2. And so I should get an answer that's close to 24. So I'm going to take 11.9 and multiply it by 1.7. And again, I'll treat this as 119 times 17 for the time being. So I'll start by multiplying everything by 7. 7 times 9 is 63. So I'll carry a 6. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 6 is 13. Carry a 1. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 1 is 8. So I get 833. Next, I need to multiply everything by 1. Place my 0 first. 1 times 9 is 9, 1 times 1 is 1, and then 1 times 1 again is 1. So I'll add these two digits together. 3 plus 0 is 3, 3 plus 9 is 12, 1 plus 8 plus 1 is 10, and then 1 plus 1 is 2. So I get 2023 here. Let's count the decimal places. I have 1 decimal place here in 1.7, and I have 1 here in 11.9. So I'm going to have 2 decimal places in my answer. Here's 1, here's 2, and so my decimal point will go here between 0 and 2, and I get an answer of 20.23, which is pretty close to 24. Okay, if you had any questions over this video, make sure you write those down for the next time, and until then, 6th grade, have a nice day. You're all wonderful people. Take care.